Mexico government is set to offer to $1,300 for people who hand in firearms, including machine guns and assault rifles, under a citizen disarmament program aimed at reducing violent crime. The financial incentives for people dropping off weapons at collection points in churches were published late Monday in the country's official gazettes. They include 8,700 pesos, which is equivalent to $430 for a revolver, 25,000 pesos, which is equivalent to $1,200. For an AK-47 rifle and 450,000 pesos, which is equivalent to $1,300 for a machine gun. President Claudia Sheinbaum last month encouraged residents to participate in the Yes to Disarmament, Yes to Peace program, assuring those skeptical that they would not be persecuted if they gave up weapons. It's about setting up places like the lobbies of churches where people can go to turn in their weapons voluntarily and give them economic incentives to give up their firearms, she said. Mexico is plagued with violent crime linked to the multi-billion-dollar illegal drug trade. In 2023, the country recorded 31,062 homicides, 70% of which were caused by firearms. According to preliminary data from the National Statistics Institute, this was what was stated. Do you think this is actually a commendable one from the Mexico government to reduce crime rates in the country by urging the citizens to submit or give away their firearms in exchange for $1,300?
Well, I think it's a lesson to every country.
Okay.
Those who desire that there is need to live like some international or foreign countries. You can now see that there is always a negative effect to such kind of decisions. Now, what the Mexican government have done is to say that we need to review our past way of life. It has done us more harm. It's a policy for everyone to own gun. So that's why it's not an illegal thing. You have the right to own gun, just like in Nigeria too. But in Nigeria, I don't think it's very easy to get license to do that. But again, I commend the government, and I also want to appeal to the Mexicans, Nigerians who are in Mexico too, that the new desire of the government of Mexico is a good one.
Okay.
And I know, of course, it will now, it is not going to be easy because Mexico is known for drug business. And most of the drug warlords are from there. And the firearms are what they use for protection.
Yes.
It's what they use to execute their business. So if you are saying that you want them to reduce, to drop this arm. Unconsciously, are you saying that the drug business and most of these nefarious businesses that strive with firearm should now also be unlawful?
Wait, what business strive with firearms? If you have to reiterate, you have to take it back. What business strive with firearms?
That's what we are saying. That the drug dealers,
okay,
you know, they have firearms.
Are they recognized businesses?
Well, you know, you can achieve so many things with firearms.
Okay.
That's why you see the robbers, the kidnappers, they use firearms. So most of these businesses strive with firearms.
Okay.
So I think that it's going to curb the rate of crime, and which is the intention of the Mexican government.
And they also offer that if you are scared to feel that you will be apprehended, you can go to the churches, submit those guns, and get your reward for it, which is actually a commendable one.
Yes, I think it's a model that Nigeria also has deployed during the amnesty period for the militants. The churches were also used as point of retrieval of firearms.
Yes.
You know. But in Nigerian case, I don't think money was attached to. Okay, yes, there was money was attached to it then. Now, I want to think that it's not bad. The Mexican government it's even be fair enough to look at the prices of assumptuously. I'm not into firearm business anyway. But I think with what they quoted is almost assumptuously the same rates for each of those arms.
Yes.
And I think it's like the money used in purchasing this arm is not going to be a waste. We are giving you
in exchange.
back.
Yes.
I think it's a very ideal, way of doing things. And I want to just join to plead that as a country now, let us not celebrate the issue of firearm. Let us not, celebrate the issue of illegal firearm.
You made mention of the drug business owners in Mexico, because it's more like a recognized capital of drug lords, and oftentimes people have license to own guns for security purposes. In that instance, how do you think this can actually help?
Well,
in the instance where they have to give back their guns in order to curb crimes in Mexico, when the issue of self-defense and security comes in, how can that be controlled?
Well, I think what the Mexican government is also trying to, for every rule, there is an exemption.
Okay.
So I think there is still an exemption or the criteria for licensing you to own a firearm. So I don't think it's a complete general policy that no individual can own a firearm anymore.
Okay.
So I think they are always trying to say that there should be a reason for licensing you.
Okay.
So if you meet up that criteria, we're going to give you that license. So those who do not, there's a new policy, I think so. So they are always, I think what they are advocating right now is that the old policy is gone. So if you are going to have a firearm, you need to come through the right process, and government will know that you have firearm and the reason for having it.
Okay.
So I think it's not a bad one.
Okay. Do you think this is a system that should be adopted by the Nigerian government if you have to bring it back home? Do you think this is, like you talked about the amnesty situation, that it was actually something that happened, but when it cuts across the country, do you think this is a system that the federal government should adopt?
Well, it's a very global a civil system of retrieval of arms. Not by coercing people, trying to compare people. Of course, you cannot even achieve result with that. So I think a lot of counseling, a lot of appeal from the religious leaders in Mexico and globally, because Mexico is a global site, as far as business and drug business and other kind of related firearm is concerned.
Okay.
So I think that religious leaders in Mexico and globally needs to appeal also to the Mexicans.
Talking about religious leaders, there was a case that happened in the East, and a particular priest actually had a firearm. He shot at a 16-year-old boy for shooting knockouts in the public on New Year's Day. You can see the whole thing, how it just goes around. We actually had that the government, the police actually banned the use of this knockouts and whatnot in this country in certain states. I don't know if it was announced in River State.
Where was it?
The particular priest actually opened fire on this boy, and that was it.
I am sure it was in the night.
Yes.
And I'm sure it was for self-defense.
It's self-defense in an instance where you had to shoot at someone.
No. If he has the You see,
if he had the license.
If he had the license.
Okay.
If such a thing happened, we may the soul of our brother rest in peace.
Okay.
And we condole with the family. But if we look at the issue that you raised, if that happened, if government have banned if they banned knockout, the use of knockout, which is like the use of firearm, the sound of firearm. And the situation of the South is not everywhere anyway. Now, if in that community, in that area, each time there is you are aware that priests are being killed, priests are being kidnapped.
Okay, so he got that in sense of self-defense.
No.
So it's not something that can be adopted in Nigeria.
No, it's there. If you need firearm, if you need to own one, you have to apply. Government gives you the license to own one.
Okay.
So if that priest is being licensed to own one, and he shot the poor boy at night, assuming that maybe they are kidnappers or people that wants to come and kill him. It's self-defense. Okay. But you know, the law can only hold him on what do you call it? Manslaughter. He's not having intention to kill the boy. Okay. But because of, you know, self-defense. Like, yeah. So it's not a murder.